silent here. I don't know which one's on silent. Oh. Okay. Okay, is everybody ready?
Yes.
Okay, then I will call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't ready with the flag. Give me a moment.
No problem. I know we changed the order on you. I think. $3.99, huh?
Oh my goodness. That's good enough.
That's good enough. That's fine. Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay, we have a flag. Okay, Randy, you want to go ahead and start?
Absolutely, if you can hear me.
Yes.
Pledge
We
allegiance
can. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I will say the invocation today. We ask thee, Heavenly Father, in thy infinite wisdom to guide forth in such a way that all their thoughts, endeavors, and decisions will be made for the betterment of the entire community. We also beseech thee to protect our country and our people from all conflicts, both foreign and domestic. Amen.
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 Amen. Roll call, please.
Director Sewell, just a moment.
Here.
Director, thank you. Director Martin?
Here.
Director Grasha?
Here.
Vice President Duncan?
Here.
And President Wright?
Here.
Thank you. We have quorum.
Thank you. Mr. Pinckney, would you please read the rules of procedure for this meeting?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Here. Just go ahead and do it.
Madam President,
Yes. I can
yeah,
see you.
I'm here at the Mission Springs offices, and I don't have those with me. They're in my office, so I can't go over them today, but I can't read them verbatim, but I can tell you that generally what they provide is that any individual wishing to speak should be first recognized by the chair of the meeting, and no person should be allowed to speak more than once on an item until every other member that wishes to speak on that item shall be given an opportunity to speak on it. That it is the chair that decides issues of parliamentary procedure and presides over the meeting, and that the board has adopted a 3-minute time limit for members of the public who wish to make comments.
Thank you. So now we have public comment. Dory, do we have anybody for public comment?
Not during this portion of public comment. Russell Betts is in attendance and he will make comment on item number 3.
Okay. Okay. So we'll move on to Human Resources report, item number 1. And we went through this a little bit on Thursday, that we decided that Jeff Nutter has more years than all the rest of those lists, that whole list of people there. So don't forget to tell everybody congratulations and thanks for their service, Arden. Okay, so we'll move on to item 2, resolution 2020-19, recommending approval of a notice of exemption determination under the California Environmental Quality Act for the Terrace Reservoir Rehabilitation and Site Improvements Project. I'll turn it over to the General Manager.
All right. This notice of exemption, I don't know, I don't have anything more to add than what we told you on Thursday, other than it's a standard procedure we take for this type of project. We don't feel that it meets the requirements to go through a total EIR. Of course, and it's probably fairly obvious why that is the case. So I'll just open the floor for any questions for Danny or myself.
Okay, Director Sewell, do you have any questions? Director Martin, questions or comments?
You're unmuted, Mr. Martin.
No comment.
Okay, Vice President Duncan? No? Okay, Director Grasha?
Yeah, I have one question. Although this is just to, when this comes before the board for approval for the contract, will the contract, is this going to involve the complete rejuvenation, including the exterior of the tanks and the interior, or is it, I just want to make sure we're being good neighbors and keeping up the exterior along with the business part of the tanks, plural. There's 3 of them being redone, right? Are we going to
Yes.
repaint? Are we repainting all 3 of them outside?
Yeah,
Besides,
I'm gonna let Danny give you the
Okay.
details
Okay.
on that. So Danny, you want to kind of let the board know what the actual scope of the work is?
No problem. Thank you, Arden. Good afternoon, Madam President, members of the board. As discussed last Thursday, this project is taking a little longer because we're evaluating seismic issues and concerns, but this is more than just an interior and exterior coating. We're adding safety features like railing, ladders. So to answer your question directly, yes, it involves your specifically the exterior.
okay, great. So it'll look new when we're done, right?
Correct, sir.
Good, great news. Thank you.
Well,
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on then to, oh no, I need a motion. It's done a study session. Okay, so it is recommended that the board adopt resolution 2020-19 recommending approval of a notice of exemption determination under the California Environmental CEQA Act guidelines, and direct the general manager to sign the attached notice of exemption and file the same with the Riverside County Clerk. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved, yeah.
Okay, I have Director Sewell moved it and Director Gosha, you seconded it. Is that okay?
That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. A roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell?
Yes.
Director Martin?
Yes.
Director Grasha?
Yes.
Vice President Duncan?
Yes.
President Wright?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 3, resolution 2020-20, recommending approval of a notice of exemption determination under the California Environmental Quality Act for the Desert Willows Water Line Replacement Project. General Manager.
I don't have much more I think, offer today other than what we have informed you of on Thursday, except for we did send out, I think that the engineering plans for that, if people want to know exactly which lines are being replaced. So you have a bit more information. Just 7,600 lineal feet, a little over a mile of 8-inch pipeline is going to be replaced, and we've just experienced a considerable number of leaks in that area. And I'll ask Danny, did you have anything further you wanted to add to that?
nothing further unless there's questions.
Yeah, I think you'll just answer questions that you may have now.
Okay. Director Martin, any questions? I think I heard Director Grasha?
Just one. I know this is in the works now to come before us pretty quickly as a contract. I wanted to be careful that anything this board does could trigger things happening over there. That I don't want any actions that this board has done in the past to potentially affect through special assessments, the possibility of foreclosure proceedings and HOAs. It's what the lawyers live for, is non-judicial, the power of non-judicial foreclosure, and us putting in this work, I understand, is going to trigger a special assessment. And I'd like the district to be very careful not to make that assessment too punitive. So in other words, to be as helpful as we can in terms of how much we're charging them for whatever it is we're going to end up doing on their side of the cuts. I guess we're going curb to curb with our asphalt. I want to make sure that people that are on the edge are not going to be getting foreclosure notices because we put in new streets. We're trying to be nice, but it's not very nice when a guy that can't afford the assessment ends up getting kicked out of his house. So that's what I want to be careful of.
All right, I think,
Sewell? Oh, I'm sorry, Arden, go ahead.
yeah, okay, well, just for the record, I don't know, I'll let Danny answer this, but I don't know what you mean by special assessment, but
Yeah,
we're not going to.
Oh, well, it's something that the HOAs, they're going to participate in this project, I understand, for the pavement. And it's likely that they're going to place a special assessment on their homeowners
okay.
to pay for that. And if the homeowner's on the edge and can't pay for it, and consider where we're at today compared to where we were a year ago, they have the power of non-judicial foreclosure, which means they can just take the guy's house for not paying a $2,500 assessment, even though he's been paying on time for 25 years or whatever the length of time they might have lived there. And I don't want to be triggering that kind of action for individuals over there that we're familiar. We all love Carl Baker, but I'm not sure any of us want him having the power to take somebody's house away because of the work that we're doing here. We just want to do good work in the community and not mess with things that are happening in people's personal lives.
Thank you.
Okay, Director Sewell?
No questions.
Okay, thanks. Vice President Duncan?
No, thank you.
No, well, I didn't have a question until you, but what does Carl Baker have to do with this?
He's the president of the HOA, and he's going to be the prime beneficiary of this act.
Okay, I didn't know he lived there.
Okay.
So I just wonder, what does he have to do with it? Okay, and usually assessment districts, I'm not sure HOAs, but I know we have to get the vote of the property owners or the people, but I'm not sure how that part works. Yeah. I think they own their own property, but I'm not positive. Okay.
President Wright, I just want to remind you, this was the item Russell Betts wishes to make public comment.
That was my next thing, as long as I got all the board members. Okay, so public comments, Russell Betts.
Yeah,
Please.
thank you. And to Director Duncan, congratulations on your win. And I don't see Russ Martin here, but good luck in the future, or whatever the count ends up being. I understand this is a approval for exemption under California Environmental Quality Act, and I certainly don't see any problem there. That wasn't what I was weighing in on. I do see in the staff report mentioned the paving options. And I wanted to make a pitch on behalf of the residents there at Desert Willows, some of who have contacted me. When the water district goes in and puts in sewer lines, if they only patch down the center line, like perhaps you can see behind me, you get, paving that is older and then a new patch down the center. And it's kind of like when you dust your coffee table. If it's got a light dust on there, go dust half of it, nobody notices. But once you do part of it, you got to do all of it, otherwise it looks bad. And my concern is that if you go in here and if you look at the drawings that are included in this agenda item or in this project, you've got two drawings, one for typical trenching like you see here behind me, and then one for the total paving of the street. And I think what you're going to end up with is if you don't pave the entire street, you're going to end up with a situation like you see behind me where the streets are going to look bad, despite the fact that you've got nice new paving and you're trenching. The rest of the streets with the, laterals going off to the houses and then the main lines running down the street are not going to look good. And I don't think it was the residents' fault that these system that put in failed earlier than whatever the 100-year life expectancy was. And I don't know what the circumstances are on it failing, and it's not germane to my comments other than the fact that it wasn't the residents' fault that happened. And I'm looking on page 13 of the drawings, and it shows you're doing a full grind down to 6-inch depth with 4-inch and then 3-inch on top of it, basically a rebuilding of the roads to a complete federal standard, which is going to be a huge amount of money for those residents. The first thing I would suggest is that you just do your normal trenching and an overlay on the existing paving because you don't have enough traffic in there to warrant this kind of work. You're going to be saddling these residents with huge amounts of money. And then the next thing I would suggest is that it really is the water district's responsibility to pave from curb to curb, and it shouldn't be the residents' responsibility. Yes, they're getting new paving, but the bottom line is you're going in and you're trenching and making it look like heck. HE double hockey sticks for the other word. You're making it look like heck.
That isn't true.
When the trench down the middle and the side laterals to the wherever you're running the water lines or sewer lines, it's just going to look like a patchwork street. And so I think if you go with the lesser option to just cap it, put down your normal trench, your compaction, whatever you do normally for proper trenching, and then cover the rest of the street from curb to curb with just an overlay, and your engineers can work that out. The city did that on 34 miles. That would be the proper approach for Mission Springs Water District. Otherwise, you're going to leave that community in a mess if they opt not to go with this huge paving. So just to recap quickly, one, don't go with this huge, what looks like a federal standard rebuild of these roads where it's probably not needed based on the traffic that's inside that development. And two, go with the lesser patching of the trench and then an overlay from curb to curb so you leave that community whole and not with a mess that says, wow, somebody just came through here and dug up our streets and isn't this wonderful? We got this new little, 1 foot wide trench patch and the rest of it doesn't match. So thank you very much for allowing me these comments. And that would be it. The only other thing I'd mention would be, I'm sure the city's gonna have the same concerns if you're out there on Acoma, Flora, or any of the other streets, and I'll take that up with our staff separately. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Anybody else, Dory?
No, ma'am, that was it.
Okay, thank you. So any board member have any other questions after Director Duncan? No, you just got unmuted. Okay. I saw you. Did you want to ask something?
No, I just want to say that I agree. I've always tried to coordinate, or not me personally, ask that, engineering or the general manager coordinate with the city or county, whoever's doing paving in an area to try to get the whole street done. It looks much better. It's a better job. Patchwork works good. Cold patch works good for a month or two, and then of course it always starts to dip in the middle, gets an uneven road. So I like a full patch, but by the same token, I don't know what the HOA or what that park is willing to chip in. That's got to be coordinated between the GM and the engineering department.
Okay, yeah, I don't know that much about that either, but the CEQA I do. So, okay.
Right, yeah. And I realize that's the only part we're
I'll find
voting
out
on.
before we vote.
It's just the environmental quality.
Okay, yes, our general manager.
Yeah, I'm just gonna add what you just got through saying it. This action today really is just the NOE.
Right.
That part of it, we did exactly what y'all said. We went to the community and said, we do this, then here's an opportunity for you to, to go to a different level with regard to the paving. We have to be careful not to spend the ratepayers' money on things that they don't benefit from, and so we're very tenacious about that because we don't want to be wasting ratepayers' money. So that's why we the option to patch is what is really justified in a project like this. But today, that's not part of the approval that you're going to vote on. It's just the notice of exemption. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, it is recommended that the board adopt resolution 2020-20 recommending the approval of a notice of exemption determination under the CEQA, California CEQA guidelines, and direct the general manager to sign and attach notice of exemption and file the same with the Riverside County Clerk. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Director Sewell. I have a motion from Vice President Duncan. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell?
Yes.
Director Martin?
Yes.
Director Gracia,
Yes.
Vice President Duncan,
Yes?
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, I just wanted to make the comment. I know when we did work in there before, the whole community was very appreciative of what we did. They were ecstatic about what we did. So we had a good relationship with them back then. So hopefully we still do. Okay, we'll go on to item 4. Acceptance of the construction of well 27 and 31 dry wells project. It is recommended, oh, never mind, I don't read that yet. Okay, number 4. General Manager.
Okay, well, this again is a pretty routine procedure where we've completed the 27, 31 dry wells. We explained to you on Thursday what a dry well is and why we did it. And the project is complete, and this will authorize the acceptance of that project as well as release of the retention money, which is only $13,067.72. And I would, and we're here for any questions that you may have.
Okay, Vice President Duncan, questions?
Nope, we went over it pretty good last week.
Okay, Director Sewell,
No, thank you.
Director Gracia,
Nothing. Thank you.
Director Martin.
No comment.
Okay, thank you. So do you have public, do I have any public that want to speak on this, Dory?
Not on this item. No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so it is recommended to accept the construction of well 27 and 31 dry wells project as complete and authorize the release of the retention money held for Weka Inc. in the amount of $13,067.72, 35 days after filing the notice of completion. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, was that you, Dr. Gasha, that said moved?
Yeah, Steve.
Okay, Director Gasha moved it, and Vice President Duncan seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Gracia,
Yes.
Vice President Duncan,
Yes?
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, item number 5, contract agreement with Foreshock for upgrades and enhancements to the supervisory control and data acquisition SCADA system for water and wastewater. General Manager.
Again, the supervisor control and data acquisition is essential to any operation like ours, to any district. And we need to move forward with this new system. Of course, much of this cost is going to be hardware that is compatible with, the new software as well as our our previous hardware. So, and we gave you some of the details on Thursday. So we're here for more questions if you have some.
Okay. Director Gracia, questions?
I have nothing.
Okay, Vice President Duncan?
Pricey upgrade, but I understand it's what we need to run the district efficiently. And when you break it down over what all it does, I guess it's not that expensive. So yeah, I'm good.
Director Sewell?
Nothing further.
Director Martin?
No comment.
Okay, I don't have any comments. So it is recommended to authorize the general manager to approve a contract agreement for Foreshock for upgrades and enhancements to the district water and sewer systems for a not to exceed amount of $378,162.18 plus a 10% contingency, which makes a total of $415,979. Augment the capital budget for job number 11617 in the amount of $21,630 and to do all things necessary to complete the project. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Yeah, what she said.
I'm reading it.
I'm not going to repeat all that.
Do you have a motion?
Second.
That was it. I'll move.
Who said? Heard somebody said second. I didn't catch who.
Director Sewell.
Director Sewell. Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Or do-
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Gracia,
Yes.
Vice President Duncan,
Yes.
President Wright.
Aye,
Thank you. Motion passes.
thank you. So Dory, let me know if there's, do you have any public on the line at all right now? mean- Do I need to keep asking if there's somebody who wants to speak, but you don't have any,
We do have
cards.
one member of the public on the line, but he has not indicated he wants to speak on any items.
okay.
He was
We
asked.
asked before the meeting.
Yes.
He was already, okay, great,
Yes.
thanks. Okay, so we'll go on to item number 6, contract agreement with B81 Paving Inc. for pavement repairs for water and sewer projects. General Manager.
I think we discussed this at length. This is pretty much a standard project where we contract with these force accounts because we can't really afford to have our own paving company. Which, not that much to do, but we do a number of services each year. This 200 repairs, incidentally, has gone down since I've been here from a total of nearly 650 to 200. And just to give you an idea of how much we have through some of our capital improvement programs, reduced the number of repairs, and repairs are very, very expensive. In this case, we contract with the low bidder to come in every so often, usually every 3 months, and finish. We put a temporary patch in, and then they come back in later and make the improvements to a permanent paving. So I am here for any questions, or we are here, Danny and I can answer any questions you have.
Okay, Director Sewell, question?
Nope.
Vice President Duncan?
No, thank you.
Director Gracia?
This is new, isn't it? I think you mentioned that at the last meeting, that prior to this, we let these projects build up and then they come in. And now this is something that's going to happen. You're going to have a contractor come in monthly, and is that what we're doing? I think we went over this, but I'm trying to remind myself what the purpose of this is.
Actually, no, this is pretty standard. We just have had different companies do it. This
Okay.
year, B1 is the company that won the bid. And I don't know, this is pretty standard procedure for most all districts. Danny, did you want to explain to the directors how this will work?
Certainly. The item we've been doing this annually for several years. That's not the new part. I think that what was shared recently is some of our internal, how we actually ask for the work to be done. We can't contemplate, well, we've contemplated many times, is it quarterly? Is it every 6 months? We're trying to do it every day. And there may be times where there's a bigger leak that's happened where we've got half the road taken out. So we'll probably move a contractor in to take care of that and whatever else is on the list. But it can be anywhere from a monthly basis to likely it's going to be on a quarterly basis. But this is for new services. This is for leaks, repairs, just general maintenance. It doesn't have to be an actual leak, as Arden was making reference to. A lot of times we open the ground up for a number of things, but we have about 200 of these a year.
I noticed that the bid amount was quite substantially different than most of the others. Although I think that the contractor is in Banning, which I can see how that might be done. I just I'm more comfortable with the contractor and his. I've been low bidder on things and then wished I hadn't done it before and then got in trouble. I just hope he's. I guess that's not our problem at this point, though. So I'd move the item as it reads.
Okay, so I have a motion to recommend to authorize the general manager to approve a contract with B-81 Paving Company Inc. for the paving repairs for water and sewer projects for a not to exceed amount of $100,000 to do all things necessary to complete the project. I have a motion on the floor. I'll take a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. A roll call vote, please, Dory.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Gracia,
Yes.
Vice President Duncan,
Yes?
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item number 7, award of contract for the construction of the North Indian Canyon Drive Sewer Construction Project. General Manager Art Wallum.
Okay, not much more to add to this. We have, like I said, brought this to the board on several different occasions. And we're directed to put this together. Basically, this is another one of those cases where we know we're going to have to do construction on this street, and they're going to come in, put a new street in, and then we come back, 6 months or a year later and tear it up. And all of a sudden there's a patch on this street that, like Mr. Betts said a little earlier, doesn't look that attractive. So we are going to get in there, and this will save us some money also. But and we also have some other aspects to it that make this a very plausible thing to do. So, Danny, did you have anything more you want to add to this? We should always ask Danny.
Nothing further.
I just
questions.
okay. I have a question before I ask the rest of the board. But is this we will get ending up eventually get reimbursed for this as development happens? Is this like a front footage charge type item, or we're putting in a sewer line? So I don't get it.
All right. I don't know, Danny, if you want to answer that. I think that's open to how this thing plays out later on and how the assessment district comes together. It could be that we could look at that cost, but that would be applicable to the entire area covered by that assessment district. Danny, I know that you might not know the answer to that either, but yes, it would be included as part of the entire project. If, say, for example, the assessment district included sewering in a particular area, the cost to do this particular project would be a part of the cost that we would hopefully be able to include in that assessment district. But in some cases, they won't let us include prior capital items in those assessment district. It's possible. Danny, did you have any more information that might clarify that?
Whether it clarifies it or not, I don't believe so, Arden. I was going to see if Matt wanted to weigh on this, but I think we can bring it back to the board. At this time, as I understand it, this doesn't have an assessment tied to it. Now, whether we can go back and add that to cost as a overall assessment down the road, I'm not sure on that answer. Matt, not to put you on the spot, but.
I put him on the spot, Danny, not you.
Yeah, do it. No problem.
Well, usually these projects have some type of reimbursement for the developer. I mean, we don't usually do capital projects that developers usually do. So I'm kind of a little confused about this project. Is there what's the benefit, I suppose, to the people? I mean, I don't understand why we're spending money that does not connect it to a certain project development to developer.
Well, it is connected to
developer that would pay for it. That's what I meant.
Well, first, it is connected. It is part. That's the reason that we're doing this. Is that's part of the preliminary design. We know that we're going to have to put a sewer line in that street, and and we informed, and there is some money that is saved in this process. And I think, I don't know, Matt, you want to, answer this maybe with a little more.
Yeah, Matt, how are we going to pay for this?
Well, we were instructed to move forward with this, and we'll probably put the bill up front, and then we'll see how we can work it in later on. The question I would have for Matt is, can we use this as part of our calculation for a front footage fee? You know, Matt, how that would be handled?
We'll be using connection fees and capital reserves to fund the project, depending on what happens around it. If it is attributable to a individual developer, we may go the route of a reimbursement agreement. If it's part of an assessment district, we can use the part that is attributable to the assessment district to have the assessments reimburse us for that. But correct me if I'm wrong, Danny, this is more of a timing thing with the county already doing the widening and all that. We just wanted to get under the pavement, correct?
Yes.
There's a timing aspect. Arda was making reference to the savings and costs. The savings and costs, I spoke last Thursday. That's a major arterial with a large street section. So when I say street section, I'm talking about the thickness of the pavement and everything else that goes with it, plus the political fallout that comes with it. So without having any certainty, we could likely treat this like a Project 37, where there is an actual MSWD reimbursement agreement, that there's a specific front footage in addition to our standard connection fee.
I think the answer to that question is yes, we may be able to do it, but I don't know how or to what extent. It would depend on, like Matt said, whether this is an assessment district or a developer and a reimbursement agreement. These are all things that should come together later on, but
okay,
they're not in any specific plan right now.
And if I may add, the reason that we have the flexibility to review that and determine that is because it's a dry sewer at this point in time, as Matt was asking. It's to get ahead of the county and to save costs.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. So we'll maybe before the development actually finishes or something, maybe we can look at like I said, maybe the connection charges might be more for developments, that somehow that line might be able to be paid for when people hook up to it. And it might have to be something different than what our normal deals are with somebody. I don't know if that's feasible or not, but I'd sure like us to check into that to see if eventually we would get reimbursed by whoever is benefiting from that line, whatever business or developer is benefiting from that line.
Yes, that would definitely be something we would do. That would be part of our standard process.
I know front footage charges are good, but I wasn't sure how that would work, front footage charges, but we might have to change the front footage charges for that line to be able to capture back what we need, and maybe not. I'm just saying. Okay.
But, also like Matt said, there's, your connection fees, your development, there are ways that we will try to fit that into the cost so that we are reimbursed for this project.
Right. I thought maybe we'd be a little more creative and for that particular line, since we don't have very many dry wells, if we have any at all, dry, or what do you call them? Dry purple pipelines. Is that what it is? It's a sewer line. It's just a sewer line.
It's a conveyance line that's been evaluated, as I stated last Thursday, as far as tributary flow that's going to go to the regional plant. There are laterals that are off of that simply because we don't want to have to open the street back up just to add laterals. There's no other way to sewer some of the fronting properties, but we'll work together as staff and bring something back to the board. There's certainly not enough laterals that would be a reasonable cost for that entire dry sewer.
Okay, it's just kind of different than what we normally do. Okay, so Vice President Duncan, do you have any comments, questions?
No, thank you.
Director Martin?
No.
Director Grasha?
Just, I don't want to mess things up. I think you've covered this pretty good. The whole 2 years I've been here, we've been talking about it. One thing that comes to mind and was confused with early on was, I think this is something that's going to be utilized when the new plant is put in. And when I asked that question originally, I think you said no. So I was like thrown off by that then. And I just want to confirm now, a year and a half later or so, what I think I asked that we have no one connecting to one end and nowhere to connect it to on the other end at the time. And the answer was that's correct. And I thought, well, why are we doing it? And I agree that it should be done as long as we're making a commitment that the new plant's going on, and this is what it's going to be the main between what projects up above Mission Lakes and Pearson, bringing sewage down to the new plant that we're getting ready to build, apparently. Am I right there?
Yeah, you're right. I would say you're right.
I think it's just thinking of a gravity-fed sewer. That's where it's going, I think. But last time I asked that question, I was told, no, that's not what we're doing. And I was like, threw up my hands and I thought, I don't.
Well, no, I know what we're doing, but I was just wondering if there's a way to capture that back because there's no assessment district. And if they're in a prior assessment district, if we can, get some money out of it. I just wanted to be aware that let's try to see if we can get something back on this.
And another thing that comes to mind, it just keeps ringing in my ear, was Matt McHugh saying that we shouldn't take on any new projects during this time. That was something 6 months ago. I don't know if he has an update on that opinion now. And I don't think this qualifies as a new project, but so I assume he would jump up and scream if we were doing something financially wrong. So maybe he could chime in on that and say, no, we're good with this money-wise, and that would be nice. Otherwise, I'm ready to vote for it, of course.
I think we're okay money-wise. That wasn't my big issue, but
Yeah.
Director, I don't know, Director Martin?
Matt? Yeah,
Matt,
okay.
okay. Is Matt there? He didn't.
Yeah,
Oh, there you are. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
This is not a new project, and that statement was made in the beginning of this year when the effects of this pandemic were very unknown. Now that we're 9 months into this, 10 months into this, definitely we can pay for this and are moving forward with no issues.
Thank you.
Okay, that makes me happy. I'm okay now. Okay. Director Martin,
No comment.
who did I miss? Sewell, Director Sewell?
Yeah, it looks like Councilmember Betts already logged off, but this item's a perfect example of what he was speaking about. And thank you to staff to working with outside agencies to avoid tearing up our roads and keeping them in good shape. So thank you.
That's probably the best part. Yeah, that's why they're doing it now, and it's a very good reason. I wasn't trying to stop the project. I was just kind of wondering about the money. Okay, so I will entertain a motion to authorize the general manager to award a contract for the construction of the North Indian Canyon Drive Sewer Construction Project to Downing Construction, Inc., the lowest responsible bidder, in the amount of $468,307 plus, $468,307 plus a 10% contingency, which is a total of $515,137.70 to do all things necessary to complete.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion from Director Sewell and a second from Vice President Duncan. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Gracia,
Yes.
Vice President Duncan,
Yes.
President Wright.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Now, item number 8, to award a contract for the well fitting and site work for new well 42 project and capital project augmentation. General Manager.
All right, I'll let Danny add to anything that I have to say. I think we'll just open it up to questions, but I do want to say again, we really do need this well, and to help us with the loss of capacity that we did have with well 28. And I really do want to get to moving forward on this. It's a good place according to our geologist, and it will provide us the flow to the 1400 zone. And Danny, did you want to add anything more to my comments? I don't want to exclude you.
Nothing further.
Okay, well, then we're open for questions.
Okay, Vice President Duncan, question?
No, thank you.
Director Sewell?
No, thank you.
Director Grasha?
I have a concern about something that came up over the weekend in regard to this, and that is there's a, let's call it it's a settling pond behind one of the marijuana grow facilities on probably a half mile south of it. And I just want staff to ensure that it's not going to have any effect no matter what's going into that pond, because we don't have a way apparently of testing it's not a runoff pond. It's not wastewater runoff. It's appears to be waste that, since they're not, you have to take a look at it. You can see it on Google Earth. It's very disturbing to look at it. And after having been assured that that there's none of that kind of thing going on, now we actually see it in satellite photographs. So myself, we're shutting down a well that's, because it's contaminated, to open up, spend 3.8 million at least for a new well that's now suddenly in an area that's
Well, that's a good reason to be concerned. So thank you for telling us that you saw that on Google Earth. Is that what you just said?
well, you know, other people, I shared it with the general manager, and then there was some thoughts that it was a wastewater runoff, but that's not what it is, because none of the other ponds that are for that purpose are, I think it needs to be looked at and make sure that they're within the
We will take a look at that, Director Grasha. Yes.
because there's going to be more of those going in. That's just the first one. There's a whole lot of acreage down there to be filled in with facilities just like that. You know, I was in that business. I know what's in that water. Even, no matter what they say, it's not stuff you want mixing in your drinking water.
No.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so questions, who did I miss? Director Martin? I don't think I
No
asked you.
comment.
Did I get everybody? I think I did.
You did.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I will entertain a motion to authorize the general manager to award a contract for the well fitting and site work for a new well 42 project to Lane Christensen and Company, the lowest responsible bidder, in the amount of $3,494,425.35 plus a 10% contingency to augment the capital improvement budget amount to $4.6 million for job number 11147, and to do all things necessary to complete the project.
So moved.
Okay, Vice President Duncan has moved it. Do I have a second?
Second.
Director Sewell is a second. Roll call vote. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell?
Yes.
Director Martin?
Yes.
Director Grasha?
No.
Vice President Duncan?
Yes.
President Wright?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, item number 10, professional legal contract. Oh God, how do you spell this guy? How do you pronounce this? Colin Tuono? Tuono? Highsmith, Watley, PC. General Manager,
Right here.
can you pronounce that?
Yeah.
Colantuono.
Conatuano.
Okay, so
Colin Tuono, okay.
it's Colantuno,
Colin Tuno, okay.
correct. Colantuno, Highsmith, and Watley. And this relates to the Padilla versus Mission Springs Water District putative class action that's been filed against the district. And we are working on the defense of that case. we believe that it would be a wise move to bring in the Michael Colantuno specifically and his team. They are recognized as the state experts on Prop 218, and Prop 218 is one of the claims, one of a number of claims that have been included in this broadly pled class action lawsuit. And we would like him to be part of the defense team on this case and defending the district against this class action lawsuit. And so I reached out to Mr. Colantuno to ask if he would be willing to be part of the defense team on this. He indicated his willingness to do so. He provided me with this engagement letter. You'll note on page 95 of the agenda packet, it sets forth their normal range of rates. His typical hourly rate is $525 an hour, and he has discounted their rate structure with a cap of $385 per hour. And Mr. Colantuno is a certified appellate specialist, has argued numerous cases in front of the appellate courts as well as the Supreme Court. And the value that Mr. Colantuno brings to this case is that he is actively involved with litigation involving the types of legal issues. We have a different factual situation in our case, but and is very knowledgeable about the law. And we believe that it'll be more efficient to have him on our team, given that he is actively and currently and has been for a number of years involved in these types of cases. And so we think it'll save us time to have somebody that, time and money, to have somebody like Mr. Colantuno on our defense team. And so that's why you have this matter before you.
Thank you. Director Martin, do you have any questions?
No, I'm pretty clear. Thank you.
Okay, Director Grasha.
Just to say how lucky we are to have such a professional coming on board to help us with this case. It's going to be a great help to the district and the public to be certain that everything that we do is going to be defended properly and to the extent necessary to be successful. So with that, when you're ready, I'd like to make the motion to approve the item.
Okay, let me finish asking the board. Director Sewell?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry. I knew there was somebody. Oh, you're back here. I see your name over here. No,
Yeah.
Vice President Duncan.
Although I don't oppose bringing this guy on board, sounds like he's qualified. Are we going to hold off until we exhaust our arbitration mediation efforts, if any, rather than bringing this guy on board to start racking up a bill if we wind up arbitrating or settling?
No, we have a responsive pleading that's due in the case, and so we're actively working on that. And Mr. Colantuno has already begun assisting us with that effort. And so the case is proceeding. If the parties decide that they are going to go to mediation, that will be separate and apart from the case. The case will proceed unless, the parties are able to reach some sort of an arrangement.
Okay.
It's concurrent.
All right, that's fine.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve the scope of work and proposed contract and authorize the general manager to accept the contract with Colantuno,
Highsmith, and Watley.
Okay, thank you. Director Grasha made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Okay, what's your question?
What was the retainer? I didn't catch that part of this in my agenda packet.
There's no retainer.
Oh, okay. So it's just the hourly rate. Very good.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell,
Yes.
Director Martin,
Yes.
Director Grasha,
Yes.
Vice President Duncan,
Yes.
President Wright.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Item number 10, district holiday schedule. I think we kind of all nodded on that one. Oh, you guys, you wanted us to vote on that, didn't you?
Need to vote on
There's no vote needed.
it?
Okay,
No vote. Just, if you're not, I just don't want to do this
Thought.
unless I have your blessing.
okay, that's what I thought. I just, for some reason, thought we talked about voting on it. Okay, so you've got that. We're all cool on that one. Anything else on number 11, the Mission Springs Water District Regional Water Reclamation Plant?
Nothing new.
Nothing
Report.
Okay, then the consent agenda, I'll approve a motion, or I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. Or wait, first, excuse me. Does anybody want to pull anything off for discussion? Hearing none, I don't think we have any public.
Oh, wait, yeah, there was something on this, on the, we're on the minutes.
Where the minutes and the registrar of demands are the two items.
There was an issue in the minutes that I noticed regarding my comments about the rack rate rechargement, or the recharge assessment fee that we're calling a fee that's charged by Desert Water Agency. And I mentioned that I thought we should assess how we're putting that out to the public. And the minutes distort my thoughts in terms of that I made comments about the fees paid to DWA, and what I was making comments about was how our agency presents it to the public. It's 180 degrees from what I actually was mentioning. And I think that the facts need to be reflected properly in the minutes. So if you could go back and listen to the tape and make that change, with that, I'll be willing to.
Which meeting was this, Director Grusha?
I believe it was the meeting last month.
It's
Yeah,
The
on,
study session or the board meeting?
Oh, well, now you know.
it's on page 104 of director's comments in the packet.
All right, Ivan.
Thank you.
Good thing we got
Yeah,
first,
you
too.
can search that. That's how I found it. I looked for one of my keywords and it wasn't in there. And then I had to go look for the whole thing. And I was like, wait a minute. Oh, it doesn't say what I said. So anyway.
Okay, so which part was it again?
Well,
On page 104?
Discussion of it was referred to as comments about Desert Water Agency's fees paid.
Okay, so what was your comment regarding?
That it's really a recharge assessment charge that every district pays, and that it should be indicated that way on the bills. I think that we're portraying the Desert Water Agency in a poor light for political purposes, and I think maybe it's time we reconsider our approach on that, and that maybe we could start getting along with our neighbors if we.
Okay, so you want to regarding.
Yeah, I just want the minutes to be more reflective.
Okay, well, that's actually what it says. You might not, but okay.
I'll just take a look at it. I got to say it again during a meeting, so.
Okay, well, Dory, you got what you need?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so now I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda and the correction to the minutes of whatever. Which minute was it? Though
We didn't specify. I'll have to go back and check.
No, but we're looking at it right now. Or I am. Director Sewell, which day was that? Did you see? Was it the study session or the board meeting?
The study session.
Okay, study session, Dory. Okay. There we go. So I'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
Okay, I have a motion, and who seconded it?
I did.
Okay, Director Sewell. Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Director Sewell?
Yes.
Director Martin?
Yes.
Vice President Grusha, or sorry, Director Grusha?
Yes.
Vice President Duncan?
Yes.
President Wright?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Now we have monthly reports. Item 14. Is this where they give their directors' reports for where they've been? No, these are the other ones. I always get them mixed up. Okay, item 14. Oh, they're They're not that, okay. So anybody have any questions on item number 14, monthly reports or comments, any of the members? You can see Director Martin, do you have any?
No.
Okay, you're the only one I can't see, so, and nobody else acts like they're waving their fingers, so we'll go on to, pardon? Okay, we'll go on then to public relations report.
I don't think we have anything additional. Did you have anything more that you wanted to say?
I would
Victoria?
like to. I think I
Nothing
might-
further, just a reminder about this Wednesday's event from 1:30 to 5:30 at the Elks Lodge for the free PPE and flu shot drive-through event. We've had so far over 100 signups. So just, I mean, we've shared it again today on our page, but if anyone that you know is in need of PPE or would like to get a free flu shot, send them to our Facebook page.
Okay, great, thanks.
Thank you.
Vice
Okay.
President Duncan has a question.
How many
Yes.
kits do you have set up right now?
How many what, excuse me?
Your handout kits, the little bags?
500.
500, okay. And only 100 so far have signed up?
That was as of last Friday. In
Right.
speaking with the individuals who do these all throughout the valley, the last week and the few days leading prior to it is where they see the biggest boost of signups. So I'm assuming over the weekend there may have been a good jump as well.
Right, and I'm sure you have a lot of people show up that didn't sign up.
Correct. You don't need to sign up. It just helps us kind of gauge how many, and then also for the pharmacists to know how many individuals would like a flu shot.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Anybody else have any questions? Director Martin?
No.
Okay, so we'll go on to 16. Now, Director Martin, now's your chance to give all of your reports for all the meetings. You're the main character there. So
I think you mean item,
Everybody have a cup of coffee available at the, okay.
what
I'm
Arden,
taking-
wait a minute, Russ. Well,
oh,
Arden,
wait a minute. Yeah, you might be right. We added an item, so you might be, it switches.
Yeah,
everything
the
from
number,
what
the
my
numbers
tabs
changed.
are.
I know, I
Okay,
got
all right.
the
That's
revised.
why I'm, okay, I'm
I got
okay.
it revised. So, okay, Director Martin, you're on.
Okay, I'm going to take these in order that it appears on the agenda. On the 8th, Desert Valley Builders Association Board meeting, nothing earth-shaking to report there. On the October 19th and 20th, I attended a 2-day conference by Law Seminars International on tribal water issues in California. And before anybody asks, that was paid for by the Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians and not the Water District. In any case, the issues presented were interesting because they cover a lot of the areas that we're concerned about: SGMA's impact on tribal land, Department of Interior consultation procedures, CEQA, NEPA, among others. On the 26th, Cabot's board meeting, nothing to report there. On the October 1st, Desert Valley Builders Association legislative meeting, covering a lot of, that's the morning meeting covering a lot of the issues in each jurisdiction in the Coachella Valley. On October 6th, City Council meeting. It was a very short meeting, less than an hour, which was shocking to me. But the main issue that took up most of the time was a discussion on light distribution uses for marijuana storefronts. Okay. And then on the 8th, Desert Valley Builders Association General Membership Meeting, it was an actual, you actually attended this meeting. It was not a Zoom meeting at the Air Museum. Presentation was by economist Elliot Eisenberg on the economic forecast of Coachella Valley. He's a very interesting, dynamic speaker. On October 20th, City Council meeting, the city had a presentation on the feasibility of severing dispatch services with Cathedral City for police and fire dispatch services. And the startup cost would be pretty significant. However, in the long run, it would be cheaper to have their dispatch services here in Desert Hot Springs rather than Cathedral City for a number of reasons. Staffing would be determined by us, policy and procedure determined by the police department, etc. So that was a nice change. That was pretty much the only issue discussed at the council meeting. On the 22nd, Desert Valley Builders Association public officials meeting at the Air Museum again. It was State Senator Melissa Mendez on a number of assembly bills, an update on those. Then the 27th, the State of the City, Director Wright and President Wright and Director Sewell have already commented on that. On the 28th, San Gorgonio Pass Regional Water Alliance. The meeting covered the reservoir project update, status on the regional urban water management plan, impacts of the recent state water contractors amendment. And that concludes my report.
Thank you. Well, who else do we have here? Vice President Duncan, did you? Yeah, you have the CVWD and DWA meetings?
Yeah, a couple of them here.
Yeah.
On the October 13th, that was their, I think once a year, their annual 5 p.m. meeting. Most of it was closed session. They did a lot of cleanup work on there. No real action items, just a couple of construction bids for their general manager to approve. October 20th, the DWA board meeting. You guys may know about this already, but the state now for water consumption, for the water use, I'm sorry. The state's now looking for production rather than consumption, because they want to account for fire, theft, and leaks as part of the drought savings. I'm not real sure what they're looking for there, but instead of saying, yeah, we reduced consumption by 8%, now they want to factor in everything that is used for production. So that's kind of an interesting take on that. And then October 27th, back to CVWD, state water project, water supply contract, they've got a new set of rules. So I'm not real sure what's going on there. I'm sure general manager is up on that. At least I hope. That's something we're gonna have to worry about real quick here. So real quick meetings. There was no real anything to report on any of them. Just those few little highlights.
Okay. Did anybody else go to any that they would like to report on? I don't see any more here on the director. No, I guess so. No. Okay, so hearing none, then we'll go to the general manager's report.
I don't have anything additional to what I announced on Thursday, but I just want to say that the thing that we will do today is we'll go into closed session with conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation. One case number PSC 1600676, Mission Springs versus Desert Water Agency. And that's the only thing that I have.
Okay, thank you. I think you just took district council's thunder. Okay, district council comments?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we didn't want to switch seats. So I was just gonna make that announcement for John. John doesn't have anything additional either.
Okay. Okay, director's comments. Director Martin?
No additional comments.
Director Grasha?
Nothing from me.
Okay, Director Sewell?
Yeah, just one thing, was going over some past paperwork, and I realized we haven't had a update on our 2017 strategic plan this year. So I was thinking maybe beginning of this next year, we could go over that and see what all has been accomplished and just go over progress. So not sure if that would need a workshop or how we would facilitate it, but would be interested in going over the plan.
I think a workshop might be appropriate for that, maybe January or something. Okay, thank you.
Much has changed since then.
Yeah, I know. I think your priorities got a little bit changed around then, yes. Okay, I just wanted to comment on the agenda format and the agenda packet. Thank you. I believe, Brian, you and your staff worked on that. Thank you. Very user-friendly packet. I like the numbers on the pages of the packet. And the item numbers on the top and the bottom there. Very good, thank you. Very easy to work through. Our financial report, are we gonna do the financial report for the COVID? Are we gonna wait till the midterm, our mid-budget? When do we do that, in January? Usually?
No, Russ, I mean, no, I think we usually do that. I mean, Matt, you want to answer that question? I think we are scheduled.
When do we do our mid-year budget review?
That's in January.
Well, that's the one I'm talking about. So I was thinking maybe at that time, the COVID, since December is usually, you know, not a real good month to do much of anything. So maybe the report that we were asking for about what COVID's done, the consequences of COVID in the district.
Yeah, we are updating that in my general manager's report. So.
Okay. Okay. But also it would probably be part of the midterm budget review anyway, I would think too. So.
Yes, it should be. That's correct. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. And just to let everybody know that the Desert Hot Springs Groundwater Guardian Team is celebrating their 20th anniversary in 2020. It was 2000. No, wait a minute. I'm sorry, it's the high school that's doing their 2020. We're more than 20 years. Just hit me. It was 20 in 2000 that the high school became a groundwater guardian, the first groundwater guardian campus in the nation. We have we're 95. The groundwater guardian program started in 95 here, so it would be how many years old? It would be 35. Okay, just some little trivia there. So next is a closed session.
Colin Tano. Colin Tano.
I got the wrong one, I think. Are we in a closed session?
We're back in open session.
No, we don't have Russ, but we still have a quorum though.
Yes.
We don't need to vote. So
I muted JP.
Is there reportable action?
John? You're muted. Okay, there you
go ahead. Oh.
All right, sorry. No worries. Okay, so the board met in closed session. Item number 18 was conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.9D1. One case number PSC 1600676, Mission Springs Water District versus Desert Water Agency. There was no reportable action taken in closed session.
Thank you.
Okay, so we did 19 on Thursday, so.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
So we're out in closed session. We reported, so I guess the last thing I need to say is meeting adjourned.
All right. See
Thank you.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.
Thank you, you too.